Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. Before we get to that picture-perfect Sunday, you may have dodged a few storms and showers. Let's bring in meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at the radar right now. Anthony.
Julian, it has been a mess out there for many of us as this cold front gets ready to push through. I want to get us right to radar, talk about what we're seeing, and then we'll go through futurecasts here in just a second. But you can see a lot of lightning showing up with this cell. This is the heaviest portion of this system right now. It has pushed through downtown Raleigh. We have Brugaloo going on. This has moved through, and I don't expect any more rain. But Rollsville definitely seeing some heavy showers, thunderstorms all the way down toward Garner. Wendell, Zebulon, you're next on this. Going to be pushing through probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes as that moves from the west to the east. Sanford, very similar story. You are likely done with the rain at this point, but moving into Lillington, Fuquay there, seeing some showers and storms, and that's going to continue to push closer toward Clayton and Benton, for instance, as we head here probably, again, the next 10 to 15. Really light coverage up toward Roanoke Rapids. Henderson's looking quiet at this point. I don't expect much up for our northern counties right now. There's Futurecast, though. It's missing some of this coverage, but you can generally see where that line is coming through. 7 o'clock this evening, most of this is going to be off to the east. And then, Julian, as we head through tonight, it's going to be drying out. We have a gorgeous forecast on the way through tomorrow. We'll talk about our Sunday here coming up in just a few minutes.
And let's take a closer look at that heavy rain here in the WRAL Live Center. First, getting you out to I-40 East, the WRAL Storm Tracker is live there right now. You can see just how slick those roads are getting and traffic starting to slow down in both directions as we continue down the highway. Also, check out this new video out of North Raleigh. Rain pouring down there and giving some movement to the trees, plus a bit of ponding on the road perhaps. You can just hear how hard that rain is coming down. And also want you to check this out, of course, a very busy spot tonight, Brugaloo in downtown Raleigh. Just look at the way the wind and rain is pushing against those tents right there. A poncho or umbrella might not be a bad idea tonight, but hey, nothing a beard can't fix out there. We do want to see more of your weather videos and photos. You can send those in to WRAL.com/reported. We'll share any we can online and on air.
Wow, those pictures are incredible. Thank you, Megan. Well, a state of emergency extended for wildfires in western North Carolina. Governor Josh Stein made the order just this morning. It applies to 34 counties for a 30-day period. Now, in just March and April so far, crews have responded to more than 2,300 fires spanning over 23,000 acres. Governor Stein says he wants to ensure state response teams have what they need to respond, plus protect people and property. All right, potentially life-changing donation at St. Augustine's University. The school announcing it's received more than $132,000 from a Virginia church to wipe out 4-year student debt for some graduating seniors. Let's talk more about it. For 11 seniors, they will be graduating debt-free. That's exactly what it means. The university says it started when those seniors wrote letters about their financial struggles. This after St. Augustine's told graduating students with unpaid tuition that they could not take part in commencement. That's when those letters caught the attention of a SAU alumni, including members of the Alfred Street Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia. The church donated more than $132,000 so that the 11 students will graduate debt-free. The school credits alumni the Alfred Street Baptist Church members Gilbert and Carolyn Knowles with making all of that happen.
I got a little emotional on how happy they were that this opportunity has come about to allow them to graduate. So they are very thankful. Very, very heartwarming stories that they have. They have remained steadfast and sticking with SAU throughout all of the different issues that we've experienced over the past year and a half.
What a great couple right there. The donation comes as the university faces staggering financial debt and loss of accreditation. Just this week, SAU's board chair said he referred possible mishandling of COVID-19 relief money to the University of the State Bureau of Investigation. Now, despite those challenges, the Knowles say it was important students of historically black universities get their opportunity. Members of Alfred Street Baptist Church are set to attend next week's commencement ceremonies. It will be such a celebration. Police are searching for a man accused of a shooting in Roxborough overnight that sent 2 other men to the hospital. This happened just before 1:30 in the morning on Monroe Street. 24-year-old DeMarcus Brown and 30-year-old Adam Woods both suffered gunshot wounds. They are stable, but we don't know their exact conditions at this point. Now, during the shooting, police say an apartment unit was struck by a bullet through a second-story wall and nearly hit a child. 2 vehicles were also struck from gunfire. So far, there have been no arrests. Pope Francis is now laid to rest at St. Mary Major Basilica. Hundreds of thousands of people poured into the Vatican City surrounding areas to pay their final respects to the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The pontiff was remembered as a pope for the people and for his legacy of caring for even the most marginalized.
He wasn't someone who looked down on anybody, whatever it is, your sex, religion, your sexual orientation, your gender, your age.
He's the most humblest person I've ever met, I've ever known.
Following that funeral mass, a group of people from humble backgrounds, including sex trafficking victims and prisoners, privately met the Pope's casket in a final farewell and reflection of Francis's character. The global Catholic Church now begins 9 days of mourning for Pope Francis. After that, a papal conclave will convene to choose his successor. Catholic communities around the world held their own memorial masses to celebrate the life and the papacy of Francis. St. Francis of Assisi Church in Raleigh was among them. As its name suggests, this is a Franciscan church. The congregation there feels a close bond with the late Pope. A church spokesperson tells us Francis provided both inspiration and hope.
And I think whoever comes on to be our new Pope not necessarily has a large shoes to fill, but they're going to have a large love to fill, because Francis had a large love. And because he lived his life in such big love, humility, and gratitude, people outside of the Catholic Church were attracted to him.
A common sentiment here, and this is what else we're finding out. While it's sad that Pope Francis died, he was such a blessing while he lived. You couldn't miss it today in downtown Raleigh. You couldn't miss this right here, no matter what you did. Boogaloo, the state's largest craft beer festival, is back. The festival is always big business for more than 100 North Carolina breweries that set up shop before the breweries from western part of the state had issues. Now, the hope is this year it will bring big activity to the area.
Chelsea Carmichael says she's gotten the questions over and over again.
Oh, was it hard? Yeah, yeah, it was.
Hard building back from Hurricane Helene. Carmichael, who works for Asheville-based Highland Brewing, says the storm ground operations to a halt as the brewery was left without water for months.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Now they're trying to get the word out that business is back to normal, and Boogaloo is the perfect chance to share a beer and the news.
We're open, ready to go. Yeah, come on down. Yeah, come visit.
This year's Boogaloo falls almost exactly 7 months after Helene hit western NC. New numbers from the North Carolina state government this week show there has been significant progress since the storm, though challenges remain. More than 1,300 roads have reopened. Over 6.7 million cubic yards of debris have been removed, but nearly 4,000 people are still working with state case managers to help secure housing, food, or help navigating federal bureaucracy.
In Boone, the storm was pretty traumatic. We took a hit.
Ray Edmonds with Boone's Boonshot Brewing Company says demand in the Triangle, and especially Raleigh,
Hey, would you like a beer?
has helped sustain the business through the lean times after the storm.
We're getting there. I'll say we're getting there.
He hopes Boogaloo this year can make a splash and tempt crowds like this back to the mountains.
The town of Boone is vibrant already. Like, we're ready to bounce back.
In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, about 3,000 Duke Energy customers are without power right now in the midst of all this rain. Check this out. About 2,000 customers off Millbrook Road in the Quail Hollow neighborhood. We also got another 870 plus further east off Creedmoor Road, just north of Crabtree Valley Mall, and also further north from that, close to 300 people off Lynn Road without power this hour. We are trying to get more details from Duke Energy about this and any update on restoration at this point.
I'm sure those crews are up and ready to go. Thanks, Megan. Celebrating bonds for National Kids and Pets Day, AAA wants to make sure they are safe. Their advice for time in the car next. Plus, a community baby shower, how mothers-to-be were celebrated today, and when Wake County mothers can also get the free resources. And we continue to track storms this evening in the Triangle. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione will be back with a look ahead to rain chances for the rest of the evening.
Back here in the WRAL Live Center, 6,000 more Duke Energy customers are without power in Raleigh this hour. Take a look. Here's a wider look at the area we're dealing with. This is east of downtown Raleigh, spanning from Newbern Avenue, Pool Road, the Rock Quarry Road area, also Walnut Creek. And about 10,000 customers in total are without power right now. We're also seeing about 3,000 more in the North Raleigh area. That is impacting Millbrook Road specifically. We haven't heard yet from Duke Energy about why this is happening or restoration at this point.
Those numbers continue to grow. Thanks, Megan. Huge college parties taking over a rural field.
Nobody seems to be able to stop it.
Monday night at 6, WRAL investigates the unpermitted parties and why it's taking so long to shut them down. Well, did you know this? Today is National Kids and Pets Day. To celebrate the special bond between children and family and animals, AAA did something special. It's marking this day to promote keeping both kids and pets safe in vehicles. Of the car seats inspected in 2023, 74% were not used properly or incorrectly installed. 74%, wow. Also, 25% of children moved to booster seats too soon, and nearly 94% transitioned to a seatbelt too soon as well. AAA has the guidance for child safety. Find the right car seat. Types of seats vary based on children's age, weight, and height. Install your car seat correctly. Review instructions and video tutorials. Get your car seat inspected. Also ensure safety belts fit properly every time. And when it comes to traveling with pets, I know you love to do this, but please avoid letting dogs ride in the front seat. According to AAA, crates are the safest option for pets. If a crate is not possible, a pet harness and seatbelt can be used, but ensure they are properly designed and tested for pet safety. Dozens of mothers-to-be received the resources they need at a community baby shower in Fayetteville. AmeriHealth of North Carolina hosted today's event. The healthcare administrator is hosting a community baby shower in Raleigh on May 17th for moms-to-be and new moms. Love to see that. Let's celebrate those moms. We could celebrate them next weekend as well. Yeah. All right, Anthony, let's get right back to this rain that we're seeing.
It's been a messy evening, Julian, for some of us, but that shot behind you tells the story, and I'll show you another camera here in a second. This line is just ahead of a cold front, and it's going to move through really, really fast. We do have a relatively dry forecast on the way once this pushes through, but I know right now it's definitely pretty active for some of us. Let's talk about radar, because you can see, of course, it lighting up with all of that lightning showing up. It has pushed through downtown Raleigh. I know we have Broogaloo going on right now. I anticipate the next couple of hours to be dry or drying out, since they saw that rainfall coming through a little bit ago. Rollsville, you're on the back edge of this, but you can see this big batch pushing through Zebulon right now. Wendell also in the thick of this. This is going to be pushing closer to Spring Hope, even into Bailey, probably over the next 10 to 15 minutes with some very heavy rain. And the National Weather Service is even saying there could be some small hail within this cell. We haven't seen any reports coming in of that, but that's something I'm watching just in case. Also, you can see as we head farther to the south and west, there's kind of a secondary batch that's trying to push through. This is going to get closer toward Wilson's Mills, Smithfield, Andrew. This is also in your area, Lillington as well. But you notice on the back side of this, Fuquay towards Sanford, our western counties are looking a whole lot better. Very spotty coverage up toward Roanoke Rapids, but there's still some. Could be a little bit inconvenient if you're headed out this evening. And then looking pretty good from Henderson down toward Creedmoor and Durham. This shot, though, tells the story. I kid you not. 5 minutes ago, you could still see the horizon. You could still see this storm coming in. And that's our tall tower camera completely locked into rain and storms out there right now. Probably within the next 10 minutes, that's going to be looking a whole lot sunnier, as is the case there in Durham. Look at the difference. We see all of that blue sky showing up, some cloud cover in the distance, but this is going to be the picture starting to work back in for most of us once that front comes through. With that said, there's Futurecast. It's handling this decently well, I would say. We continue to push those showers and thunderstorms off to the east. There's 7 o'clock tonight. They'll likely still be hanging on for our eastern counties at that point, but by the time we get to 8, 9 o'clock, it looks a whole lot better. The coast may still be dealing with a little bit of that, and farther south of our viewing area still could see some showers, but most of us looking pretty quiet by the time we get to midnight. We take this ahead here to early tomorrow morning. If you're headed out for church, brunch, breakfast, anything you have going on, it's going to be perfectly fine. We have a little bit of cloud cover. It will be a really, really nice end to the weekend. We have some sunshine, comfortable temperatures, low humidity, and it will be totally dry tomorrow. I do want to make you aware of, though, this evening, like what we are seeing out there, the Storm Prediction Center has our entire viewing area under a level 1 risk. All that's saying is we could see some spotty, strong storms with some gusty winds, with some small hail. I expect them, though, to trim this as we go through the next couple of probably hour, maybe 10 minutes or so. They'll start trimming that because we're seeing that push through Raleigh at this point, or off to our east. We go to about 56 degrees, though, tonight in downtown Raleigh, 52 for Roxborough, 53 in South Hill. Looking a little bit cool to start in the morning, but look at the nice day we have. Some sunshine, a couple clouds out there, 73, a beautiful forecast, but look where we head, Julian. We get to Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday, temps back in the upper 80s and low 90s. So the relatively milder weather doesn't last.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. Thanks, Anthony. Duke Energy line workers competed for the title of champion at today's Lineman's Rodeo. Today's competition took place on the de-energized equipment in a simulated environment in Wake County. The goal was to be the fastest, safest, and most efficient at various tasks, and the line workers were tested on job-related skills like equipment repair and pole climbs right there. Now, many of the competitors today helped restore power to communities and customers in western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina following Helene last fall. Pat, you're here. I know a coach right now is not very happy.
Yeah, Rod Brindamore pretty much had nothing positive to take away from last night's loss to the Devils. So we've got a series now, and will we see any lineup changes? Plus, Carolina's top prospect one step closer to playing. Coming up next.
With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Shedeur's slide is finally over. The Browns trade up to take him with a 5th-round pick. It has been the story of the draft. Shedeur was a projected first-round pick, falls all the way to the 5th. Ironically, he goes to a franchise that not only needs a quarterback, they've basically never had one. He'll compete with fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel, as well as Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson. All those guys aren't making the roster. Sam Howell knows how it feels. He fell to Washington in the 5th round of the 2022 draft. They traded him to Seattle. The Seahawks now sending the former Tar Heel to Minnesota. Howell will likely back up J.J. McCarthy there. The Panthers addressed another need with their 4th-round pick. They took Georgia running back Trevor Etienne. Etienne is the brother of Jaguars running back Travis Etienne. Carolina filling the void left by Jonathan Brooks' injury. Chuba Hubbard is their lead back. They also signed Rico Dowdle in free agency. Here's the rest of Carolina's day 3 picks. Also in the 4th, they get Lathan Ransom, safety out of Ohio State. GM Dan Morgan really likes the blue chip college guys. In the 5th round, defensive tackle Cam Jackson out of Florida. Also in the 5th, Mitchell Evans, tight end out of Notre Dame. Then in the 6th, Colorado receiver Jimmy Horn. I covered him in high school in Florida. Kid can absolutely fly. Alexander Nikishin is now eligible to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs. According to team reporter Walt Ruff, the Canes have registered his contract with the NHL. Now, just because he can play doesn't mean he will. Rod Brindamore has been pretty non-committal on that, but he did not hold back his thoughts on the game last night.
There was a segment in there. I mean, we did fight back and tie it up. That was about an 8-minute stretch where we were kind of good. The rest was not our game, and you know, there's a reason they were good. So let's tip your hat to the New Jersey. They did what they had to do, and we were just not very good.
Canes fall 3-2 in double overtime to the Devils. Simone Nemec, the winner in the second extra period. Not the result Freddie Anderson deserved, who had some of his best saves of the series. Brindamore said he could start Game 5. He was considering other lineup changes as well. Canes-Devils Game 5 Sunday at 3:30. Moments like this are what it's all about for NC State baseball. The Wolfpack holding their second annual Victory Over Cancer game. And this little boy named Brady rang the bell after beating leukemia. The gold shirts you see are for pediatric cancer awareness. Last year, the game raised $50,000. So what a day for baseball. What a matchup here. Wolfpack taking on number 2 Clemson. Sophomore Ryan Marone in complete control. 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts. We had a tie game in the bottom of the 6th. Alex Sosa looking more like Sammy with that swing. Monster home run makes it 3-1 Wolfpack. Then in the 8th, Pack looking for some insurance. Justin DeCrizio skies it. Good thing Jet Gilliam is tagging at third base. Was this the scene from The Sandlot? Benny the Jet scores. Wolfpack win. They sweep Clemson 4-1, Julian.
Yeah, what a series. Congratulations to the Wolfpack. Thanks for joining us. NBC Nightly News is next. We'll have another half hour of WRAL News tonight at 11. Have a great night.